Ever since he got elected, I've been feeling like Trump might be the best thing that has ever happened to us. Not because he's great. He might actually be the worst thing that has ever happened to humanity. But it is exactly because of that that he is doing great things for us. Because he's not the worst thing that has ever happened to humanity. There are a lot worse things. And now, because he is a catalyst, all of that horribleness is coming to the surface, and we might actually be able to heal it. Hi, and thank you for tuning in. My name is Ariana. I'm a human design analyst and also a cultural anthropologist. I'm just very interested in what we are doing here as humanity, how it's going, where we came from, and where we're going. So if you're enjoying what I talk about, please follow along. And today I want to talk about Trump, which honestly I don't take a great pleasure in saying. Um, I don't really want to talk about him. I don't think anybody wants to talk about him. We have been talking and thinking about this man way too much for way too long. But I think that that's exactly the interesting thing about him is that ever since he stepped onto that global stage of taking the position he is currently in, I feel like everything in the world has started revolving around him, and we have been talking about him being kind of obsessed with every single thing that he is doing and saying for almost a decade now, more than a decade now, completely against our will. Like most people don't want him to be there, don't understand why he's there, don't agree with anything that he is doing. But that's just what is happening right now. And I feel the reason that he is there and the reason that we are all revolving around him is because he is serving a very important function in the whole of humanity evolving right now. The function he is providing, I always feel like the image that always comes up for me is that of a zit, where he is kind of this volcano like structure on the surface that is bringing all the worst things of humanity to the surface. So the way a zit is kind of the exit point for the pus that has been building up around an infected area. In the same way, Donald Trump is kind of providing this surfacing of all the disgusting, horrible things that have been infecting humanity. Our lives have been infected by just the most vile of our shadow side for a very long time. We've been feeling it, we've been experiencing it, but it has always been underneath the surface. We've been able to talk over it. We've been covering it with decorum, with pretending, with so many things. There's so many layers covering up all that darkness that is constantly festering underneath the surface of our reality. And we are desperately wanting to be aware of it, or actually more than wanting to be aware of it, we want to heal it. But the thing about that is that we cannot heal it if we don't see it. If we're not aware of it, then we don't know what to heal. And we just keep going around in the same circles, which is exactly what we have been doing for basically as long as humanity can remember. We know what's wrong. We understand that there is something very, very wrong in the way that we are functioning, but we cannot seem to heal it. We cannot seem to take out that infection. We cannot seem to actually put the finger on the problem and shift it. We cannot seem to actually productively shift it. We keep coming back to the same things over and over again. So the function that Trump is bringing is that he is actually allowing us to bring to the surface that deeply rotted aspect of our collective civilization. We are discovering exactly what we've already been knowing, but we are discovering the roots of it. We are discovering where it comes from. We are now able to see what is happening under the surface and bringing it into the light, which we are barely capable of doing. It's really overwhelming. It's really painful for all of us to be aware of all these horrible things that are happening simultaneously. I mean, we are all feeling this. We're all experiencing this. How it's one thing this day, and then another thing, and then another thing, and then another thing. They're piling on top of one another, and we can't really be present with all of it. But somehow we are. We can hold this because we have always been holding it. It's always been there. We've always, under the surface, in our deeper layers, been aware of it. It's just now also arriving to the higher levels of our awareness. And what it really takes to be able to both simply exist and just be here and be aware of those deeper layers and the deep, disgusting shadows that are buried there is to integrate all those deeper layers of our awareness. So that's what we are mostly working on. We're working on being in our body, creating a safe and healthy environment for ourselves, finding as much balance as we possibly can. Because when we find that balance, when we find that healthy way of being, that's when we can hold all that darkness. That's when we can be aware of all those unimaginable things while simultaneously just being able to get up in the morning. And we weren't always capable of that. It is actually quite recently that we have been evolving into that multi-layered awareness. So that's why only now this catalyst can function for us. Only now we can actually see what that catalyst is doing for us and what he is bringing us. So that's why Donald Trump was a gift to us. He is digging, and bringing to the surface as much of the infected things that he can find. And he has no idea that this is what he is doing. He is not consciously or with any good intention doing what he is doing. He is as much an unconscious symptom, you could say, of our collective evolution rather than an active participant. I would like to compare him to Hitler in the way that Hitler did something similar. Hitler was also a catalyst through which we started to become aware of how deeply depraved humanity can be and actually is. And that was a catalyst to start thinking about human rights, to start thinking about treating each other better, to start thinking about peace and actually taking care of each other on a collective level. We didn't quite succeed, but we made a good start. And now we're going to have more spiral cycles. We're going to have steps where each time one of these catalysts demonstrates to us exactly what we want to change, we become more aware and more powerful in actually affecting that change. And in that way, Hitler had no idea what he was doing. He was just terribly confused. Trump, in a similar way, has no idea what he's doing. He's just very confused. Would rather be doing something else. He would probably rather just be sleeping on a couch watching TV. But he has, for some reason, been chosen to be the worst that humankind has ever produced and show us exactly what needs to change right now. So the next time Trump comes into your awareness and you're just irritated and fed up and you're just like, get this shit out of here, remember that this is an opportunity for you to look at your own shadow, to bring something more to the surface that hasn't wanted to come to the surface yet. See it as an invitation to become more emotionally intelligent, to take the next step in your emotional maturation. Because if Trump is there, it is there to show you something that you don't want to see yet. And it's kind of a sign that it might be time to start growing into that newer, more mature version of yourself. And at first, there's resistance. There's this feeling of like, no, I don't want, this is gross, this is horrible, this is bad, this is evil. But there is something there that is actually ready to be beautiful. There is a perspective on everything that is probably the most beautiful thing we've ever seen. And the emotional depth it takes to be able to see that, that's what each of us are capable of. And that's what we're evolving into. So to go into that perspective, to feel into that perspective, to feel yourself opening, growing, evolving, and finding new perspectives on things that you don't really want to be aware of. That's the evolution that humanity is going through right now. Each of us are going through this process in our very own unique way. If you would like support with that, I'm here. You can leave a comment. You could send me a message. I would love to hear from you. I haven't been uploading in a while, but I feel like I have a lot more to say and I have a new perspective on everything. So I look forward to sharing that on here, but also on my other social media. You can find me on pretty much every big app. And I look forward to exploring more with you. So please leave a comment if you have something that you would like to hear about from me. I'm excited to get into everything that is going on right now from my unique perspective. Because I feel like, yeah, we need to connect. We need to bring everything to the surface. We need to expand our awareness. And we need to do that together because that's the whole thing that we are being invited into right now. So thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.